Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. So in this video, we are going to debunk the what a lot of chart analysts, YouTubers, whatever you want to call them, influencers, say about altcoins relative to the 4-year cycle versus Bitcoin. Um, And a lot of them say, "Oh, yeah, just don't worry about the alts. The alts don't pump till the end of the bull run," and that's a bunch of effing bullshit. Um, so right here on the chart, I have Bitcoin. I have three charts here: Bitcoin dominance at the top, Bitcoin U.S. dollar index in the middle, and the total two, which is all the altcoins excluding Bitcoin. It also includes Ethereum. Um, and in this circle, this is looking at the 2020, early 2020, before the just around the halving point, before and after the halving, as we headed into our parabolic bull run, which is I believe, the part of the cycle that we are in right now, and we are looking at these charts on a weekly index. So I believe the parabolic run will start after our halving in April. Um, the halving is in April, that is, and our parabolic run will start around late June, July. Um, Now, so looking here, now what I've done in this circle, which just happens to the halving event just happens to occur within that circle. But that was COVID. This was the COVID crash right here. This is the COVID crash. And I and a lot of chart analysts will dismiss this portion of the graph. And more are coming to exclude this portion of the graph in their analysis as a black swan event. And if you do so, you can see that in each case, the price action, the Bitcoin dominance just starts again after this event where it left off prior to the event. So, with that, um, taking that as a whatever, a given, um, you can see that leading up to the halving event and before, so I'm looking at Bitcoin right now on the center chart. Leading up to the halving event as Bitcoin was starting upwards from the bottom. The bottom was way back here. It's not even on the chart. We came up from a bottom, went sideways. Bitcoin started increasing leading into the halving event and continuing to increase just prior to the parabolic run. We had a slight pullback before the parabolic run started. I believe we will have a slight pullback into the halving event, um, as you can see in other cycles, but I'm not going to show that right now. Um, so in this time frame, which is the time frame that we are currently in, as Bitcoin was increasing, Bitcoin dominance was going down from about 70%. I got to pull this down a little bit so you can see it on the right hand side. Where my cursor is, it's about just over 70%. Bitcoin dominance decreased to about 57.5%, 57%, leading into the parabolic run. From 70% to 57%, Bitcoin dominance decreased. The altcoins pumped against Bitcoin. Nobody will tell you that. Nobody, I haven't heard anybody say that. But these people that have been lying to you over the course of the past year and telling you we're just going to go sideways in 23, blah, 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 blah. And, altcoins aren't going to pump until the end of the bull market, the bull run. They're full of shit. You gotta pay attention to what's going on. You can't listen to everything these people tell you. So here, looking at the same time frame, let's measure what Bitcoin did from about here to where as the dominance was going down. Bitcoin went up about 80%, let's say. This is really, really rough because we're so squished together on these little charts. The same time frame from about here, let's really there to out there, from the low to the high in each instance. Altcoins went up 230%, 80%, 230%, about 3 times as much as Bitcoin went up. So, yeah, you missed out on a huge, huge opportunity to make money here. And that coincides with the next 6 months, or 6 or 7 months um, leading into the parabolic bull run about the on either side of the halving event. Now, let's see how many months we're talking about here. From here, looking at the Bitcoin dominance, where Bitcoin dominance was going down, that's December 16th of 2019, all the way to September of 2020. So September, October, November, December. That's 9 months, almost 9 months. But remember, we do have to subtract this portion right here from mid-February to about mid-June. So February, March, April, May, June, 4 months. So subtracting out 4 months from 9 months, you got about 5 months. So for a 5 month period, altcoins performed far better, 3 times better than Bitcoin. Now, let's look here. As the parabolic run started, and we're not going to get it a lot into this a lot, you can see that yes, Bitcoin dominance did increase from about the 57% where we were back up to 66%. And then as the you can see below, as the parabolic bull run has started, Bitcoin initially outperformed for the first few months the altcoins. Then there was a pullback where the altcoins caught up and outpaced Bitcoin. And then once again, Bitcoin did outpace the altcoins, leading midway into the parabolic run, after which the altcoins outpaced Bitcoin quite significantly and continued to outpace Bitcoin and continued to go upwards as Bitcoin plateaued and fell off. So it was the entire second half and a little bit after of the parabolic run for Bitcoin that the altcoins significantly outperform Bitcoin. So it's not like at the very end, it's the whole entire last half of the parabolic run. And might I say, so what did Bitcoin dominance do from 57, where it had dropped down, and to where it went back up to? It went back up to about 70%, where it was initially. So overall, even overall, if you bought your altcoins here before the halving event and held on to them all the way till over here, which isn't even, that's only halfway through the run, you would have been even with Bitcoin. And if you would have bought your altcoins back here before the halving event and held all onto them all the way through to the top of the altcoin market, which was as Bitcoin here plateaued, you can see here that Bitcoin dominance in that case, you bought your altcoins way back here. You know what? Even no, like way back here. In December of 2019, you bought your altcoins and your Bitcoin and held on to them through the sideways action and slightly upwards during the around the halving event and the parabolic run until the height of the altcoin market and before Bitcoin started dumping here. Bitcoin kind of plateaued up here and then dumped. Look at where Bitcoin dominance fell to 52. It went from 70% to 52. So your altcoins that you bought back here that was a little high, and they went up 2,500% during that time. Your Bitcoin that you bought back here and held all the way over to here went up 700%. So which one would you buy back here and hold on to? The only time that it makes sense to buy Bitcoin over altcoins is this tiny period here in the beginning of the bull market. For a few months over the course of this entire year and a half or whatever it is, this tiny little portion for a few months is where Bitcoin outperforms the altcoins. From here, arguably to there. That's 300%. And from about there to right about there. That's 190%. So yeah, in the very initial few months of the parabolic run, in this one instance, Bitcoin outperformed the altcoins by 50%. Other than that, altcoins over the entire course of the prior to the halving to the top, remember altcoins went up 2,500%, Bitcoin only went up 700%. And even leading into the parabolic run, altcoins outperform Bitcoin right here. So that was looking at the previous bull market in 2020. Now, can we go back? Can all of you guys slide backwards? There we go. There. Well, come on, all you guys. Oh, you know what? I don't think all of them want to go backwards. Let's put it on. Let's put them all on auto. They're not cooperating. Let's get you guys back to 20. Now here we can only go back to 2014. Can we get you guys all on the same page here? Come on, let's all get together here on the same page. So, you look at Bitcoin here, you can see we were going down, down, down. This is the bottom of our market in 2015. So, let me slide this guy, see if they will all slide together. Well, Bitcoin dominance does. You can see here. You know what? We got to take it off of auto because afterwards it's so dramatic that you can't really tell how much it moves here. But you can see that as we came off of our bottom here, Bitcoin dominance was dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. Now, this isn't a good example because Ethereum and the altcoins, well, Ethereum had been around for a few years. The altcoins or a couple years, 2-3 years, whatever. Actually, I don't know. I'm just looking at this chart. They're all growing considerably. They're fresh. They're taking their place in the market. So of course, Bitcoin dominance is dropping from up here at what 99%. Yeah, 99% down to 95%, and over here as we head into the run, Bitcoin dominance is dropping and dropping and dropping. There's no argument here that everything is outperforming Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin as we're heading into this bull run. It's just dumping and dumping. Every Bitcoin's bleeding against all the other altcoins, but that's simply because the market is growing and more coins are coming into the space. So this is not really a good indication of anything. So really, we only have, but this does indicate that no, Bitcoin didn't outperform anything in this bull run. Not at all. And for this instance, we might want to switch to Ethereum. Just as an example. Let's see. I haven't even gone over this. But from let's just see. Let's not start at the very beginning. Let's start here where it looks like the parabolic bull run started. Come on, let's go back here, kind of get our lines all together. Bum, bum, bum. Let's just start from right here. measure. Here in the very beginning of the bull run, Ethereum went up. Uh, 5,300%. That's to that spot right about there. Okay. And Bitcoin went up from about there. I'm giving Bitcoin the benefit of the doubt here. 240%. So in the beginning of the 2017 run, uh, Ethereum went up 5,300%. Bitcoin went up 240%. I wouldn't say that Bitcoin outperformed anything back then. And if you want to look at the entire run, let's even start here on Ethereum. Let's start from this level, which coincides with, oh, that little dumpiness. Let's start over here a little bit. From the 27th of March up to the top, 907%. And here, 27th of March, it's back there, to the top, 1,600%. Well, I'll be damned. So in the second half, that was up to the 18th of December. Is that where we measured? Yeah. So in this instance, Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin tremendously in the beginning, but not at the very end. So it did entirely the opposite. However, overall, from there to there, 25,000% for Ethereum, and from here to here, 2,700%. 25,000% versus 2,700% overall. Now, what do you know? Just for a, when did the other altcoins start? So see, the other altcoins didn't start here. At least the TradingView charts didn't start until here. Parabolic run had already started, but let's see what happened. Well, this would be the second half of the run of the parabolic bull rally anyway, and altcoins performed about 3,000% from here, and Bitcoin performed about 900%. So really, when people talk about oops, okay, I don't have it. Okay, I'm on the wrong one. I gotta go here and I gotta go here. So really, when people talk about Bitcoin outperforming altcoins during the bull market, they're only talking about this little few month period right here in the beginning of one cycle. because that didn't happen in the first cycle. Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin tremendous. It's almost inconceivable how much it outperformed Bitcoin by in the initial portion of the bull run, and then didn't in the latter portion. Here they flipped. So really, what they're saying doesn't hold any water. Excuse me. Now, another way we can look at this is what do I got here? Uh, Bitcoin dominance on top. I don't want that. I want something like Solana. Let's just choose Solana. And can you guys go together? So, from their all-time highs, come on, you guys, squish together a little bit more. Let's get together. These things don't always work so well. They're supposed to go together. And it's because there isn't a lot of history on this top one. There we go. That's a little better. So, from its all-time high in November of 2021, Solana is currently down 83%, but it went down as much as 96% approximately. These are really, really rough um, estimates because of how short, how squished together the chart is. So it's currently down, what, 83%? And as much as 96% from its all-time high in November of 2021. Bitcoin is down. Well, it went down as much as 75% and is currently 46% down. Now, assuming that these assets return to their all-time high, which one do you think is going to outpace the other as we return to those levels? The one that went down a little bit from its all-time high, or the one that went down a lot from its all-time high? Now, remember, all we have so far is a few month period in one cycle where Bitcoin outperformed altcoins in the bull market or heading into the parabolic bull run. Well, we don't know what's going to happen now, but let's see what has happened since right here in the past couple of months. Solana has gone up about 37%. And Bitcoin has gone up 125%. How can that be? What I did something wrong there. That's not right. Oh, I'm sorry. I got them reversed. That's funny. Bitcoin has gone up 36% and Solana has gone up 125%. I don't know which one's outperforming which to you. Now, let's look at something like render. So I got cut off there. So we're looking at render. Let's just look at the past few months here. Render on the top has gone from about there to where it's at currently. About 75%. And let's see. Yeah, about 36% for Bitcoin. So more than a double, or it's about double the pace of Bitcoin. However, okay, let's get you guys off of there. If you happen to buy render back here in January, at the beginning of the bull market, to where it's at currently, 487% versus Bitcoin, about 108%. I don't know which one's outperforming which there. Now, that's interesting. I didn't realize it was about the same here in the beginning of the market. I got it back here in October. As I've told you, I bought all my tokens back here on October 13th, which was the bottom of the market, excluding any black swan events in June and November of 22. So that's that. I'll let it go with that. It depends on, if I can look at other altcoins that have bled against Bitcoin, like Gala. If we bought Gala at in January to where it's at now, it just so happened to pump. Well, it had this little drawdown because the founders are suing one another, but it's come back up. So, but it's only gone up 21% since its lows in January, which look like its lowest lows other than more recently. So, and Bitcoin, what we say, went up like it's up over 100%. So yeah, there's others that you can look at that are bleeding against Bitcoin. There are others that are performing significantly well against Bitcoin, and as I showed earlier, the only time Bitcoin in a bull market has outperformed altcoins is in the first few months of the parabolic run in 2020. Um, and that's the only cycle. That's the only cycle we have to. Bitcoin did not outperform Ethereum in the cycle before that. Not in the first part of the not in the first part of the bull run. So there is no consistency. There's nothing to base anything off of, really. The what outweighs everything else, in my opinion, is the amount that the altcoins have been beaten up, and a lot of that is because of the FUD from the SEC over the past 6 months. So they have they have huge ground to cover to get back to where they were in March of last year. Let's just let's just go to a different chart and look at something like Cardano, for instance. Cardano is up at 34. Let's go to a weekly time frame or a daily time frame. Let's see. Let's go to a weekly. Here in June, where Gary attacked all the altcoins, Cardano had been coming off of its lows of December of last year of 2022 and heading on a path upwards here, a trajectory upwards. And then boom, this SEC FUD caused all this. Now it's just getting back to where it was right here. And that's why I see it continuing on this path and continuing on this path here. And as you can see, if you measure this and measure this path up to here, heading into the parabolic run, I imagine Cardano coming back up to here over the course of the next few months anyway. 65%. What if Bitcoin went up 65% from where it's at now? Well, let's just go on the chart. Bitcoin is here, this red line, 65%. Puts it 57,000. Actually, so yeah, I think Cardano and Bitcoin will perform exactly the same heading into the parabolic run in December. $57,000 is exactly where I think Bitcoin will be in June. I've gone over this time and time again, and I'm getting off topic for this video, but here we go, heading to 62,000 over the course of the next few months, back down to 48 in. I'll expand this a little bit more here. Here we go. Follow the purple line to the green X. I have this at 58,000, 58 to 62 here before the halving event, then pulling back down to 48 before the halving, into the halving, at the halving, and then back up to 57. This is 55. I think I pulled these down a little bit more. Regardless, something like that. And then our parabolic run starts. I was going to say something. Oh, a lot of people are calling for like actually I just heard Crypto Crew, Gerber Baby, talking about dropping below an orange line, and so we're going to see a 20% pullback in 20 to 50% pullback in Bitcoin over the course of the next 6 months is what he said. And that coincides with what I'm believing right here. I think we will pump, and I think we will pull back. We'll have about a 20% pullback heading into the halving. So what he's saying and what I'm saying both are in line with one another. I don't think there's going to be any significant pullback in the next few months. I think it'll be into next year. All right, so like, subscribe, and see you next time.